Both champions want to scale, but now that's a clean engage on the bottom side. Razzler instantly ready to fall. Look for the punish on the Supa. Feathers fly for Supa, but is it going to be enough? A nice knockout coming from Alvaro, and they turn it back! Absolutely outplayed, my God! Where did this duo come from? But ultimately, not enough. As Humanoid now on the chase, wants to shut this Varus down. Not a lot that Merwin can do on this one. Some clean sidesteps though! Oh! He dodges!
Hitting. Hit Cassandra, hit Cassandra.
Really good fight, really good fight.
Get red. Finish.
And welcome back to the LEC, where I'm joined for the very first time in the LEC. Fresskowy, thank you so much for joining me after this game. Crazy game, as you said, as the caster said. You were telling me that it was really stressful. Tell me about staying calm and collected in a situation like this, because I feel like as a rookie, it must not be easy, especially when you know that you're playing against Fnatic.
Yeah, I mean, for sure it was stressful at some moments. Like, we knew that we just need to be decisive and we need to somehow manage to stay calm. We play a bit slower than usually, but we found the openings in the end, so I'm really happy we got the win in the end. It wasn't the cleanest game, but I'm really happy that we managed to find the fights in the end that were super messy. But in the end, we got it, so I'm happy. Yeah.
You say playing slow, but I feel like when you're going to play a composition like this, you actually don't have to play slow, in the sense that you got the early game, snowballed on Fnatic's mistakes, but without actual engage or follow-up in a composition like this, I feel like it's really easy for Fnatic to come by. What did it take for you guys to stay ahead in the game?
I mean, for sure we are not used to play that slow. Like, I can agree, we had a comp that scales really well, so we don't need to be that fast, or we don't need to snowball that hard. We always have the win con of just scaling, because we had Ivan, Azir, and like 3 AD carries kinda with Azir. So yeah, I mean, we are not used to it, but we knew that in the end, if we just manage to get the fights, we're gonna win in the end.
I know that Elioya got the Kia player of the game here, playing a not conventional pick in this meta, I want to say, in the likes of Ivern. What did you think about his performance and this Ivern pick?
I mean, it was really good in our draft, especially with the 3 ADCs, as I mentioned before. So I think it was really good in that draft. I think he did a good job. I'm really happy with everyone's performance today. Like, even though it was still messy, I'm happy that we performed in the end.
It's been a convincing run for Mad Lions so far, but I want to ask about you, because there's been a lot of discussion around you being the only non-Spanish member of the team. Do they swap to Spanish sometime, and are you scared they're talking behind your back?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes they swap to Spanish. Sadly, I need to tell them to not do that very often. We have some rules. But yeah, I mean, I'm used to it. I've been in Spain for 3 years before, so I'm used to people talking behind my back in Spanish. So at this point, I'm just used to it, yeah.
Time to learn Spanish, buddy. But all jokes aside, how do you feel about your run in the LEC so far and your debut in the league?
I'm happy. Of course, I know we need to improve still a lot, but for a roster that has 4 rookies, I'm happy. Like, I know that we could perform way better, especially last week was very inconsistent. We had really bad games, especially into BDS. But I know that we did a better job this week, and I know that we're going to do even better, so I'm looking forward. And
looking forward to seeing what Mad Lions can show in the next weeks in the LEC. Thank you so much for this very first interview. And Sjokz, back to you.
Thank you. I was just talking to Merwin about the Spanish thing as well. I'm joined here by both top laners, actually, Merwin and Oscarinen. Thank you for joining me, the both of you. What an insane game. We're going to take a look at a lot of replays. First, I want to follow up what Laure asked there to Fresskowy about Spanish, but you clarified it's outside of the game that sometimes we speak Spanish, not inside.
The only thing we do in the game in Spanish, it's expressions that cannot be translated or are not as good. But the Fresskowy already knows them, most of them. So it's like, it's chill, you know?
Can you give an example? Or?
No.
Oh, are they too like, oh, okay. I see.
That's the beauty of Spain, you know? So.
Swear words?
Some are.
Okay, cool. I won't go deeper into that. But hey, both of you, insane game. I want to start with the last replay. I'm going to go maybe to Oscar first, because unfortunately it happened to your team here. You're about to kill the base. What happens?
I mean, I don't think we should have done this. I think we got a bit too excited. I think if we were in a better mental state, we would have not done this, and we would have just played slow, played it for the soul. We just want a team fight. We could just get yeah, all the position and everything, but we said that we couldn't, and yeah, we couldn't. So yeah, we just got mega aced there, and yeah, we lost again.
Simple as that. I guess sometimes it can happen that fast, and then for you it was the other way around, because right before that, actually, you lost a fight that could have lost you the entire game as well, right, Miran?
Yeah. I mean, like, in the end, like, the last play, we were really chill because the timers were like, Xayah was coming in like 15 seconds when they were like hitting T2, so it was really impossible to finish. So we're chilled. We knew like they were going for the end, and it felt like they were like so desperate to finish. And yeah, like in the moment they fuck up the engage a bit, we knew we were like winning the game.
I want to take a look at some of the replays before that, but basically the key of the game to us seemed like, Oscar, that Humanoid was extremely fed, and if he would be able to get the angle off, it could work. Is that a right read, or do you think you had more tools actually than meet the eye?
I think we could just play for just Corki poking. I would just be frontline. They couldn't really do much because I think we outranged them. And if Corki could just hit ults and chill, we would just probably win fights. Or if he has the package, he can just do this.
Yeah.
And 1 minute in the fight. But yeah, I think we played too fast the fights, or we were not patient enough. And yeah, I think that cost us a lot the game.
Yeah, unfortunately it did. Let's talk about the top lane matchup as well. We were covering the draft here on the desk, and the Varus came out. It was first pick. Nobody really caught on because this isn't something we have seen yet, Miran. So talk me through kind of how long you've had this Varus in your back pocket and in which situations you bring it out.
I mean, I've been playing Varus for a long time already, even last year. I played it into Cassante in an AP version, but it got nerfed, so with new items and also I play different build. And I think it's good. It's like in many matchups it can be good. It doesn't really need to be only Cassante. So yeah, I mean, I will make sure we bring it more to the stage so it's a bit more fun, not only Cassante and Rumble every game.
Yeah, I like that a lot, and I can see how you say that about the specific matchups in lane, but I guess the difficulty can come out of you have to play the whole game like that, right? Does it really only work if you get ahead that much?
I mean, usually by having Varus in top you can get insane leads because of how strong the champion is. So like you're always playing with an advantage. If you are falling behind, it's probably because you're playing bad. So it's just that.
Called out. Anyone who's playing Varus. Oscar, how was the experience for you?
I mean, I kind of knew what he would do in lane and everything. Like, I already kind of played against these matchups against him.
Yeah.
So I knew more or less how it worked and everything. And we already knew that if we picked Cassante, he was going to play Varus top. But yeah, I mean, he is just a really strong laner, Varus, and you cannot do much on him. If you ult, you are just going to insta-pop.
Yeah.
And yeah, you have to chill, and you're going to be Cassante. He's going to be a strong ADC later on in fights, and that's it.
Oh, yeah, I guess you had the special information because you do have the experience. Did you call it out in draft immediately, or?
I mean, I think we kind of knew from the beginning that Varus could be top. Because, yeah, I mean, I know Mirwin.
Yeah.
But yeah, we didn't really care, and we just picked Cassante anyway.
Okay, I see. When I said we hadn't seen it, I mean, of course, in the kind of the major leagues, let's say. And I think this is so cool that you're bringing it out. We said it like the first week already, also like the LeBlanc and everything. And you say now, I don't want it to always be the same matchup. Is that kind of the mission you have for your kind of first year in the LEC?
I mean, I wouldn't say it's my mission. It's how I kind of think about the game and about matchups. So it's my way of thinking more than my mission.
Okay.
Of course, and also the champs are more fun, so that's an extra.
So do you think, like, for top laners, they often say, oh, well, we're stuck in this situation and we always have to pick these champions? You actually think it's not true?
I think it's not true. Like, not only for top lane, I think in every role you can play a lot of stuff. People just, like, don't even try them and then just complain, so.
Okay. Oscar, what do you think?
I mean, I really agree with him. I think you can play way more champions than what people usually play. But I don't think it's only on players, it's also on coaches and teammates to believe in your picks and everything. So, yeah, even if you want to play, I don't know, like Teemo top, like if your teammates don't really believe it, you're not going to play it.
That's true.
So it's both ways.
Yeah, it is both ways. It has to be the right team environment. Regardless, though, I think it was a great game from both sides. Unfortunately, just losing out Oscar, but congratulations, Mirwin.
Thank you.
Mad Lions Koi with another win. And now we're going over to GIANTX versus G2 with our wonderful, beautiful, talented, intelligent, well-dressed, great hair, great voice. Cut me off whenever, guys.
What an incredibly talented, skilled desk full of beautiful, talented, handsome,
Thank you so much
stunning
for the
people.
insight from our top laners as well.
I feel for Oscar. I love that players are willing to do that. They're willing to come on there. You have to eat crow a little bit. You know, you're sitting there, you're uncomfortable, but he still
I
gives
love the
good
fact
answers.
that they called every pro player out, though. You know, like play more stuff.
Absolutely.
Big fan of that.
Please play more stuff. I get it.
I'm down for Teemo top. I hate
If
playing
you can
against
convince
myself,
your coach
but-
to let you play Lucian, you can convince him to let you play other stuff too. That's all I'm saying. Only one person's won on that champion.
Well, speaking of some creative picks that we have seen, we got G2 versus GIANTX.
For every great pick, there's a stinker. Sona Seraphine.
Yeah, we saw it last week. It didn't quite go the way that G2 wanted it to. And yeah, so far they went 2-1, 2-1. They're like many of our 4-2 teams, one game away from locking in playoffs.
Yep.
GIANTX, they're a little bit more under the gun, as so the saying says, as they find themselves only at 2 wins, with both KC and Rogue hot on their heels. They would love to get a win here today, because it would just help separate them from the rest of the pack. But GIANTX is the team that has most in their own control, right?
Certainly.
Like they're the,
the teams contesting near the
exactly,
bottom, right?
Because down at the bottom you've both got Rogue and you've got KC, and both like 0 and 1 wins respectively.
Yep.
So the fact that they already have this advantage means that if they can get this win, it's already going to make it that much harder for the teams underneath them to catch up.
Yeah, and I think for GIANTX we've seen so far on stage, Jackie's looking really comfortable on the Neeko specifically, has been a great playmaker. Other than that, kind of struggling to find comfort, struggling to find that footing. His Yone game against SK really did not pan out for the team overall. So we'll kind of see what the draft strategy is today. Does the double support item arms race continue in this draft for G2, or maybe have they moved on after their previous experience?
Well, what I think is super interesting is that it feels like the G2 after coming back into this 2024 season, many expected them to be the clear favorites, and that's definitely not the case. Don't get me wrong, their mid-game macro is, in my opinion, the strongest in the league. They have a really good understanding of how to play around the map, but their early game, some of the drafts that they've come up with, their execution on some of those drafts, like, you can sit there and go, oh, they lost because of draft, but you sit there and you look and you're like, what are they, with what they have drafted, they're making some very questionable choices. So it feels like that G2 is going through a lot of growing pains themselves, and this could be a great opportunity for GIANTX to try and take advantage of.
Absolutely, and I think early game is, as you highlighted, kind of the big thing that we have to keep our eye on. Jackie's, of course, an incredibly comfortable laner, no surprise, very normal for rookies to be more experienced in the game. It's where you play most of your scrims, it's what solo queue teaches you the most. But seeing how that transitions into the mid game for GIANTX, if they can find a lead, will be big. My eye is on the G2 bottom lane. It was there before the Sona Seraphine. You know, I think they've had a lot of lanes where they've been caught off guard and they've been caught out in a way that we didn't really see in 2023.
That's definitely had a rough split. I definitely agree with that. Caps, I think, has kind of been the shining star of G2. I think he continues to hold the moniker of best mid in the league right now. We'll see how the weekend develops, though, as they're going to lock in their Kalista. For those that don't know, when G2 was high on Scrimbucks, it was this champion that was helping them earn them. Hansam has always been known as a hyper-aggressive AD carry player. Draven and Kalista are 2 of his go-to, so G2 no strangers to just locking that in. They're going to move away from the Sona Seraphine, and they're going to go back to their tried and true. And believe it or not, this is Hansam's first Kalista of the whole split.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy to think about. Obviously, with the Senna band away, a lot of those double support item combos fade away at least a little bit. Doesn't stop other champions from picking them up, but Senna certainly the premier option. Xayah's been rising in priority a lot. It seems like one of those champions that's been maybe showing up a bit more in scrims here.
She often finds her way into in every meta, right? She's a very solid AD carry.
Yeah, she's just reliable.
Often into the late game, she doesn't quite compare to the same hyper carry. She's got a very powerful early to mid game. She can, obviously, she's still a threat late game, don't get me wrong. But sometimes her range can let her down, and there are other areas where certain hyper carries can outperform. But against Kalista, you're going to see a lot of fighting back and forth. Wouldn't be surprised to see that paired along with the Rakan. LeBlanc locked in for Caps. Very excited to see Caps on LeBlanc. I'm hoping we finally see a return to the old AP builds.
Yeah, and if you missed it on the hotfix, they did hit her base attack speed as well as her attack speed growth per level, which her auto attack animation was rough. I'm not gonna lie. You really have to, in my eyes, from what I have seen at the very least, you really need to build AP. But we'll see. Obviously, the AD itemization is still, the itemization portion of it's still strong. Just doesn't synergize as well as it did on LeBlanc previously. Maokai now locked in. Again, very strong champion in terms of what it provides to the team in terms of overall utility. But this is one of the big shifts we've seen this week as well. A lot more priority on range supports in our last 2 weeks. This week, a lot more people willing to play melee support matchups, and the Xayah Rakan combo has been looking good.
Well, I wouldn't be surprised to see Nautilus, maybe even Alistair banned as well. With Renata already taken out of the pool, that was one of the go-to pairs up alongside the Kalista.
Do you do... No, never mind. I was thinking like the Rogue throwback where they would play Soraka, Kalista bottom
I mean, you
lane.
could go an old school SK Jarvan Kalista bot lane. That's... I mean, you're just throwing names out there.
when they took stopwatch out of the game, or at least put it strapped it to a Seekers, Jarvan support died. And frankly, good riddance.
Well, we'll see. G2, wouldn't be surprised to see them ban out junglers right now. They could get rid of Xin Zhao, something that we've been seeing a lot from PeachE. They could also, if they wanted to, maybe they want to get rid of some engage. I was going to say Sejuani Vi, some of the safe ones.
I kind of like the angle of banning the Vi as well as the Xin. I think that Xin, in general, still appears to be the premier option in terms of individual contributor as a jungle. I think.
Lissandra's a good ban. For those that don't remember, last year, Mikyx was bringing this out a lot specifically into the Rakan.
You can obviously W his W, interrupt a lot of that potential playmaking. Reliable point-and-click lockdown, very good against a lot of the champions.
So now we're looking at something like a Rel or an Alistair as an answer to also give that Kalista a little bit more well engaged. And you're looking at a very strong, well, skirmishing composition, right? Kalista, Maokai, and some sort of engaged support. Yeah. There's a lot of strength there, front line, easy engage.
Not the strongest front to back, it has to be said.
True.
Because while we talk about Xayah as potentially getting outranged by a lot of the late game hyper carries, obviously that's not really the case with Kalista. So if GIANTX are in a position to fight front to back, compositionally right now, outside of the Maokai at least, they are very favored, but this is the Xin that you highlighted earlier. G2 did not have to ban it away, instead banning the Gnar, wanting to limit the safe pick options from the side of Odoamne.
I mean, for those that don't know, Odoamne has been playing this game for a while, and Gnar is one of the champions that he played a lot. So they clearly have a blind pick in mind that they think Odoamne will pick this into. The question is it Cassante?
And like, look, Marwan brought up earlier, like, you think top lane meta is stale now? Odoamne Wonder once played a best of 5 where they played Gangplank into Gnar 5 games in a row.
Yeah.
For my first best of 5 cast, it was terrible. It was the most boring lane to watch.
Oh, is that a Cassante? Who could have seen it coming?
Well, they banned the Rumble, so at least we won't have to see it against a Rumble.
Okay, so the question is, how will they round out their support? Has Mikyx been cooking?
Yes.
Yeah.
Fun fact, Neeko, Kalista, a composition we've already seen before here in the LEC, something that G2 cooked way back in the day when Kalista top was a thing.
We did see a Neeko support in the LEC, did we not?
Yeah, we did. We've seen it in LEC domestically.
All right, so the thing is, what I'll say is the reason why Lux is often considered good into Rakan is because Rakan has to kind of travel in lines, right? He's always either traveling to his AD carry or he's traveling forward towards you with his W.
At some point, he has to jump directly at you.
Yeah.
It makes the setup easy.
And so when it comes to skill shot bindings, it becomes easy to punish if you know what to look for. So the Neeko, I think, can be an effective answer. Also, Kalista throwing a Neeko into the enemy team, I feel like could be a really cool combo.
The interaction, fun fact, similar to the ARAM interaction, if you ever played this one, a little bit different with as the timing has changed, but essentially unreactable hard CC. Very fun, very fun.
Potentially, yeah. So Gwen going to be around out for Odoamne in the top lane, a matchup that we've seen multiple times. I do think that since the animation changes, Cassante has a slightly easier time in the side lane compared to what he used to, just because there's way more magic resist in the game.
Yeah,
but that doesn't stop the fact that Gwen still massive monster, huge hyper scaling into the late game, and you kind of look at this again. Azir, Gwen, great scaling options, really good powerful skirmishing. It's a very traditional front-to-back composition, I feel, that we've got coming out from GIANTX. G2 have got a lot more skirmishing on their side. They also have a very powerful front line, but a lot more side lane threat, a lot more looking for flanks. Their composition relies a lot on finding good vision, great objective setup early on, forcing the enemy to walk into you, and being a bit creative about how you actually execute on these fights.
And I like that you talk about the objective setup, because you have a bit of passive vision from the Neeko Glen, a bit of passive vision from the Kalista W, a bit of passive vision coming in from the Neeko Sapperling. So in theory, if G2 are in an even state on the map, they can get a lot of vision for free without needing to phase check. Something that might be a little bit harder for GIANTX, but they do have a Sejuani. He's always got access to that passive as well as the Aftershock. So should be pretty safe here, but yeah, standard composition against a much scrappier lineup on the side of G2. Again, if G2 win, they are confirmed, they are locked. We expect them to make top 8, but it's always nice to confirm it early in the week. GIANTX on the opposite side, fighting for their lives. Down at the bottom, near Rogue and KC need every single win they can get.
All right, so we're going to be jumping onto the Rift, and first thing I notice, a lot of pings onto the fact that Broken Blade is running Ghost. I wonder if GIANTX are going to look to try and punish that early on.
Definitely an option. Nice thing, obviously, about pairing the Gwen with the Sejuani, you have a melee champion for those stuns to come through. G2 fans in the house tonight. And it is Doran's early on the LeBlanc.
Doesn't mean anything, bro.
Doesn't mean anything. You just want those adaptive stats early on.
The fleet footwork, on the other hand, might.
I trust Caps.
We'll see.
We'll see how this works out. We'll evaluate in hindsight how good of a choice this was.
Correct, because that's what everyone loves to do.
Everyone loves to do. If you win, it was always the right choice. If you lose, it was terrible. Clearly. Idiot. Anyway, here we go.
All right, so early game. Looking on the, I didn't see any early vision invested, unless that is a blue ward dropped. Yeah, that is a ward dropped on the ramp. Handsama are going to be spotted out, so they're going to know that vision there. So G2 already investing in the early vision game, trying to spot out where PeachE is and what he's up to. Looks like he's going to start red. May do a full clear towards bot side of the map, but he also might do the strat.
Oh, look at them. Hansama's just not autoing until the last second, so they don't know which one is which. It doesn't matter. They're messing with their heads. Who's who? Got a poke onto Patrik. Level 1, you expect to pretty heavily favor Mikyx and Hansama here until the feather pullback comes through for Patrik. He just doesn't really have any options to trade.
Just nice harassment coming out from the G2 bot lane, 2 versus 2. Looks like PeachE is doing full clear on his top side, going to look to path towards bot. Yike already on a full clear bot. Are they going to set up? Sometimes we see G2 do this. They do a full clear bot. Level 3 look to actually try and dive with the level advantage.
Yeah,
got a stacking wave in the bot lane as well. Level 2 now secured. Good chip damage.
Only level 1.
All right, just keep your eyes
on the
Yike.
way. If they can do this very quickly, they might be able to do it before IgNar and Patrik get level 2, which is huge because IgNar is a dead man walking.
But that's the route used by Mikyx already. He's trying to push this wave as quickly as possible.
Oh, you can see he's going to be spotted. They've spotted him. He's sprinted.
Oh, actually, okay, no, this is fine. They're just going to use the pressure to actually steal away these camps, which I think is also okay because you look at Jackie's already forced underneath this tower. If this was a Xin Zhao, perhaps the idea to set up this invade would have been very different, but by going for the Sejuani, Yike is saying, what can they do? And the answer to that is not a lot, as IgNar, Patrik, and Jackie's all getting chipped away at.
Ooh. That buff is going to go to Yike. PeachE will walk away.
He wants the Gromp.
Oh, this is tough for IgNar. Root not quite going to connect. He's getting chipped down. Hansama running low on mana here. Should have enough for another Rend.
Leveled up as well, going to give him a bit back.
Oh! This man's going to get the gold medal in the javelin toss. Quick first blood now coming through. Mikyx looking for the follow up here. PeachE is definitely overstayed his welcome. Yike looking to body block. Looking to immediately fall up. Stun is there though. He's turning it back. Yike overstays. PeachE healing, but Hansama should just be able to grab this kill. Heal now coming through. PeachE will go down as well. Buffs donated to Hans. Big for the side of G2.
So this G2 bot lane, turns out that when you give them a bot lane where they can fight you in the 2 versus 2, they will fight you in the 2 versus 2.
Did we say they were struggling this season? We meant they're the best. They're clearly insane. No, obviously, powerful start. And they've actually stayed away from drafting a lot of these super oppressive early laning combos.
We talked about it, right? We've seen 3 Aphelios games, 2 Varus games, a Seraphine game. But when you give Hansama a Kalista, this is what he does.
It was so casual.
Now, Yike, he definitely overstayed his welcome. The passive from Sejuani was enough to deal out the damage to be able to at least give him a kill, gets the level up as well. Mikyx's going to miss the root. Bit awkward there, but Hansama able to secure it. But that's 2 kills now. Oh.
Who's that pro? No, never mind. I think what we were trying to say is the next game is Rogue versus KC. Don't go away. They're fighting at the bottom. We'll see who comes out on top. Just a hint, a teaser of what will happen on the next episode.
PeachE going to be able to steal some rapids away. IgNar making his way mid.
Ooh, Root going to hit on the minion though, not connecting onto Jackie's. Jackie's just gets a little aggressive there.
Okay.
Hits him with a thumbs up. So right now, G2 pretty far ahead, but only in the bottom lane.
Yep.
That said, Kalista being pretty far ahead is, I think, 2nd worst champion to have a lead next to Draven, so pretty concerning.
Aggression from PeachE though. He's just like, yeah, I know where Maokai is, so I'm just going to take all your camps. but Yike's doing the same thing. He took away those Raptors. Oh, actually, he didn't. I don't think he took the big one. All right.
Yet another minion body blocking the chain for Jackie.
Now Hansama's in danger.
Can they get the kill, though? He still has flash up and available. They're taking their time. Has to flash the knockup. Well-layered CC there. Now Hansama's going to be trouble, but he's just dipping, ducking, diving, and he will die. Massive shutdown. GIANTX getting one. Mikyx trying to body block as much as he can with the clone. 4 stacks. Stun comes through, and Patrik cleaning up on the bottom side. PeachE grabbing the final kill.
I mean, PeachE cleared out the entire bot side of G2's jungle. Came up right behind Hansama, who is stacking up a wave, and they get a nice kill. Gold gonna very quickly swing. Caps gets level 6.
Oh, the sidestep.
Yeah. Just Caps things.
It happened in the Yone game. It's happening in the Azir game.
It was that mental game. That's what he likes to play.
Yeah.
Still, though, shouldn't take away from the fact that Giant Spot Lane found a huge, huge punish.
Thought you were gonna do the Undertaker meme. Never mind.
Comes up behind Hansama. He's far too pushed up in the lane. Flashes away from the knockup, but PeachE patient with the Q, able to use his dash to chain CC. Good damage from Hans, but wasn't quite enough to get the kill. The level up from Patrik here as well keeps him alive, so Mikyx can't really trade back any kills. Double buff now exchanged over to Patrik as well.
Yeah, and GIANTX, good punish on the bottom side. Again, taking away the double buffs, passed back over to Patrik. We'll see if Mikyx and Hansama can continue their game of catch with this blue and red buff. But for now, mitigating some of the gold difference. Tragically for GIANTX, none of the money went to Patrik, really. Still a 600 gold lead for Hansama. Still Patrik at a 20 CS deficit, so G2's bot lane is still pretty far ahead. PeachE actually the one who benefited there, so we'll see if he can do anything with his individual lead.
Dragon is available. Yike is in the area. They have the push on bot. I think Caps is building Energizer items, Drakos.
It looks like he is. I thought for sure it was over. Caps versus the balance team, chapter 333.
Yeah, because it was the B patch, the hotfix that nerfed this, right?
Gave her a little more AP ratios. Just trying to nudge you in their direction. Engage now coming in bottom side. Heal to try to get the movement speed out. Nice body block coming in from Mikyx on the root. Yike is here, but he's not going to do a damn thing.
PeachE got 6 on the wave, but they didn't really need his ultimate. He threw that onto Mikyx to lock him down. He's going to get away with his life. But Hansama loses another life, while Patrik gains another kill. He should be able to secure a plate here as well. Mikyx trying to be annoying. Patrik wants the plate, man. Mikyx will not give it to him.
He's ready. Wants to cancel backs. He's committed.
Nice,
Ooh, nice.
This is going to be a bit awkward.
Yike on the way down.
I don't think Yike can do anything, though. The only person
There's
that
a
can really do
dragon. They
anything,
get first access to dragon, I think might be the play here.
for sure. Yike really wants to get level 6.
God, Mikyx's committed.
I thought that was you making those sound effects for a second then.
Nope.
He wants to try and find Patrik, won't be able to find him. This is a big window though for Hansama, because now he's come back into lane.
Okay.
And now he's going to try and get a plate for himself. So a bit of gold into his back pocket. Bear in mind, he had like a 900 gold lead earlier. Now that's dropped to about 300.
Yep, gets one plate for free, courtesy of Mikyx DeLang. Some of the recalls there. Probably would have gotten it anyway, and G2 now starting their sights on the Drake here. First Drake to get taken down this game alongside the first 3 Void Grubs. So a minute and 33 seconds until the second set will respawn. Obviously 5 and 6 is what you're looking for in terms of the overall buff. Here we are.
Yeah, Grub spawning at about a minute 20. That's the next major objective. Let's see what Camp's first item is.
You know it's gonna. What are we doing?
Yeah, but I'm curious, just like which one it is.
Which Energizer item?
I'd forgotten what. 80 carry itemization. I'll be honest, bro.
I know this is mid lane LeBlanc itemization.
Yeah.
You're supposed to know this.
Oh man, I forgot all the 80 carry items like build out of this.
Storm
thing.
Razor. Or
Yeah.
static. Actually, it looks like it might be static.
See, I told they all build out of the same thing.
Look, we both got caught lacking. We're all just gonna pretend that
80
never
carry
happened.
80 carry items suck. They all just build out of the same
Nobody
thing.
clip it. They do. I
Yeah.
mean, they're the same build path. So I guess we have to wait and
It's
see.
all the same, man.
I didn't have to check that at all. Didn't have to double check. If it's got the shard in
I
it,
feel for 80 carries. You know, they tried to get new items with the whole mythic thing, and then they ended up just getting the old stuff back.
But at the same time, you did see a Varus build experimental hexplate last game, so you know 80 carries can't be trusted. They will complain about an item, and then they will just abuse
They'll
another class's
quietly
items.
cook.
Yes.
Then the 80 carries will sit there and tell you, it wasn't an 80 carry, a top laner did that.
All right, buddy. I think Varus is still safely classified. Well, Cap's going to go back here. IgNar has level 6, the potential to make some of these plays. PeachE pretty prolific on the map right now.
PeachE is having a great game so far. His early jungle did get invaded, but he's done a good job of really making sure that his presence has been felt on the Rift.
I think
Level 7 now.
All right.
To the Grubs.
Should just be able to match 3 for 3 on the Grub spawn, but it looks like he was a little question mark ping. They assume that he is up there. Patrik going to be the one who has to be careful. Luckily able to clear out the wave, courtesy of the pullback of the pullback of the Blade Caller. Excuse me. And that's going to be 3 for 3 on the Void Grub buff. Traded back, so neither side going to get the might spawns. All right, G2, they see their counterplay on the bottom side. They're setting up. They've got Yike, got Mikyx, they've got Hans, more than enough CC. Patrik has Cleanse and Ult. It should be impossible to kill him. IgNar stepping up a little bit here. Just hoping to catch some cooldowns before he can dash back.
Mikyx being just super annoying. GIANTX know, though, that they are the weak side. Jackies and PeachE on their way, though, which should give access to Patrik and IgNar back into this lane. And PeachE
The
down
one you
here.
need to watch out for.
Mikyx continues to be super obnoxious.
Static Shiv for the LeBlanc, not Stormrazor. Here we are.
See, that's what I'm saying.
Either
man.
viable. Static's back on the menu, gang.
LeBlanc is another one of those, what will I build today, chance?
Yeah, all right,
you know?
yeah.
Like
Pull
Ezreal
out your
and-
bingo cards if
Yeah.
you've had Static Shiv LeBlanc. Congratulations. So here we are.
But objectively, this is weaker, right? Like,
It's objectively, yeah. I mean, LeBlanc is weaker with this. Yeah. It's still pretty similar, to be fair. But
all right, well, that
AP should be better, but you know.
show is then caps, show is the tech. 500 gold lead for now. Largely just built off of farm, and I believe a plate he's been able to get as well.
Yep. Being annoying. Wave clear.
Yeah,
Difficult for Azir to match.
Still super annoying.
Still super annoying. Turns out wave clear is good. Who would have thought? Professional play. Odoamne right now, slight lead in the matchup. Credit to Broken Blade for staying even as long as he has. Obviously gets harder and harder the later you go into the game. Odo now going to try to force this wave in and trade TPs with Broken Blade. But Broken Blade taking his time. Might be willing to give up some of this CS just to hold on to TP advantage.
PeachE doesn't have anyone on the map right now, but that should give cause for concern if you're G2. Like, there are 0 points of pressure. They're invading our jungle, so that's why Mikyx trying to get a bit of information back. Has spotted IgNar now.
3-man setup in the mid lane. Again, PeachE the strong point for the team overall. If he's engaging, if he's frontlining, they're having a good fight.
Dragon on the docket. It's PeachE and IgNar that are contesting this vision, with Jackies right behind them. Patrik forced to catch this wave, though, so Hansam are going to move up to assist Mikyx. You can see that Yike is clearing out his wolves right now, which means that there's really no contest over this vision.
And interestingly, GIANTX only took 2 of the Void Grubs.
I mean,
Enough to deny the buff.
ultimately, yeah, exactly.
Didn't see the exact context. Maybe wanted to clear out a different camp instead.
It's not a huge deal.
Nope.
Damage difference between 2 and 3 is largely insignificant.
Yeah, it's really just about denying higher stacks away from your opposition at that stage.
G2 have the push and bot now, forcing Patrik to catch that wave. G2 might use this as a window to fight. A little cat.
Big Mikyx stepping up here. Root gonna connect, bit of damage onto PeachE.
It's going to force him out. You can see Jackie's forced to back as well. He's a few minions off level 11. He's going to TP back into lane as Caps pushes in another wave. Curious as to whether or not Caps is going to choose to reset. I saw 2 deep wards for a potential flank, but those aren't going to happen for Jackie's. Instead, he has to catch this mid wave. Mikyx.
Fishing for a bit of harass here, hoping to catch Patrik.
He's going in.
Just going to go in and try to ult, trying to burn down and focus out PeachE. PeachE isolated off to the side. IgNar going to try to save the day. That's 2 members locked up. Ulti now coming in from the Maokai. Ignite now down on Hansama. Hansama just going to get instantly pushed back. Yike going to get taken out as well. Jackie's still standing. Caps desperate to try to clean up, but he doesn't have the damage. G2 getting nothing in the exchange.
I mean, such a huge overcommitment from G2. Hans flashing over the wall, just creating space between him and his own team. And PeachE walks away with his life. Great punish from GIANTX. Odoamne even moved down from top into mid to create some pressure. No dragon is going to go down, though. GIANTX saying, you know what, we're too low. We don't want to risk the objective. But look at this. So, a good flash from PeachE as Yike commits with the W. And this flash from Hansama, he's just setting himself up for failure. Really nice ultimate from Patrik with the further chains you see. Then Jackies can join and help secure the kill. Yike is now isolated because of the wall from Jackies too. And G2's just forced to retreat. Massive overcommitment from G2. Big question marks as to why they felt the need to force that fight. They were very stressed for a situation.
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, You forget the LeBlanc doesn't do any damage with this build right up until she like leaps in and doesn't kill someone. You're like, oh, thank God. Might get scarier as a Voltaic Cyclosword seems to be on the way, but for now, PeachE can live freely. And that's the downside of G2. Yes, they wanted to get the shutdown, but that is one very fed Sejuani. Any other member, they probably would have killed outside of Patrik, who has so many defensive tools, but because they focus all their resources on a Sejuani who's ahead of the clock, who's 1k up on the opposition, just not quite able to finish the kill. G2, though, priority access to the Herald, looking to swing things back in their favor. Gold still within touching distance, only a 400 difference. We'll see if GIANTX want to contest here. Does he go for the 50-50? Ulti there.
Yep, it's a good ult. G2 likely won't fight it. Someone. Wait.
Hello,
okay.
Mikyx.
Well, Yike was just going to leave it then, but we're chilling. We're good. So Giants have control over the mid lane. Top laners just continue to do what top laners always do. You can see there's a 10 gold difference between them, so... Herald's going to be dropped top, so this should unlock the first tower of the game.
Are they willing to commit here? Uh-oh. Key knockback.
Nice amount of space is often created when you use the Herald, and no tower's going to go down, so more wave clear from Jackies. Patrik actually started rotating up for a potential contest, but instead just going to back to base. So overall, relatively slow early game. Cap's trying to trade against Patrik.
Cap's now in trouble here.
Whoa.
Knockup is there, full committal. Cap's overextending. Fakes him
Nice.
out for a second with the clone, but a clean shutdown.
Yeah. Really like that engage from IgNar. Knows that Caps has already invested everything. The comms will probably wait. Does he have flash? Does he have flash? They said nope, he used it in the last fight. So they get another punish. Really nicely done from GIANTX. And we talked about how if you're Rogue and if you're KC, they want GIANTX to lose this game.
Desperately. They have never been bigger G2 fans than they are today.
Like, to put into context, KC only have 3 games left and they're at 0 wins. So, yeah, they don't want GIANTX to win.
GIANTX can't win at all. They really need GIANTX to just not win. Of course, it's more nuanced than that from a tiebreaker perspective, but ultimately, your road to victory starts with GIANTX not winning.
Yep. And then you winning everything.
Right now, GIANTX look like they're winning pretty good.
But we talked about in the draft how G2 have been very fallible so far this split, right? They've shown weaknesses. They've shown opportunities in the armor that many teams have looked to take advantage of. And some people have said, well, you know, the games that they lost, they've had bad drafts, but the early games have not been the most consistent. We haven't been seeing the same Hans Summer that we saw from last year, just dominating the regular season. And we saw him at the start of this game get 2 early kills, look incredibly dominant. But PeachE has just done a great job of continuously attacking and punishing him. And G2's faltering. Like, ultimately, they're still even in gold. I wouldn't say that this game is over just yet.
But on paper, again, when we look at the way these team compositions are set up, G2 want to break open mid. They want to free up LeBlanc to roam and play on side and be this obnoxious threat. So breaking down this tier 1 tower is certainly a good start, but they're going to need more than that if they want to take over this game completely. The good news again, though, Maokai, free vision. Neeko, free vision. Kalista, free vision. So they have a lot of tools to make sure that they have good information on the map, but GIANTX, when it comes to full front to back, much simpler composition to execute.
Right now it's just a dance around midway. Bot lane is being caught. Top lane is being caught.
Root on 1, immediately going to try to ultimately flash forward. Protobell forward instead, just locking up PeachE, but again, very tanky member of the team. TP now coming in from Jackies. What's he going to go for here? Desperate to try to find a counterplay. Odoamne here as well.
So TP's committed. Flash burnt from Hans Summer, flash burnt from PeachE. But really not much coming off the back of that. Oh, IgNar could be in danger, but the Merc Tread's going to keep him nice and safe.
Smart purchase in the context of this lane. G2 continuing to step forward. Threat of the dive here. Broken back onto Patrik. Patrik just taking to no man's land. Are you what?
That was a crazy combo.
What?
Broken Blade gets the knockback with his Untofos, then drags him back in with the shield, and then throws him through the wall.
Patrik looked Broken Blade in the eye and said, "You are going to whiff this Q." Broken Blade said, "Nah," and just one-shot that guy. What the hell? All right, Mickey, essentially over-eager, but
I mean, that's a big shutdown.
That's a massive shutdown. Broken Blade got a solo tower bot lane. He just got a shutdown in mid lane. He has a 1.1k individual gold lead. Yes, Gwen might still win out in the 1v1, but...
I mean, it's going to be harder now that the Kainic Rakan completed, along with the Barmy
I love how
Cinder.
you say it like your mouth has never made that shape before.
Because it doesn't. There's not a word, not even close.
Is it? I don't know.
I remember Infinity Edge,
Yeah, someone
Sunfire
with a
Cape.
liberal arts degree named this item. It's not me. Anyway, here we are, 20 minutes into the game.
G2 the most annoying thing about the
with the
island's
gold.
name, okay? Yes. It's like rook, you know, like from chess.
Yeah, yeah.
But you can't say it like that. You have to say like Rukern. It has to be like a Ru.
I
Like,
just
it's not
assumed
Rukern,
that everyone
is it?
else was as kind of ignorant as me when it
And
came
then
to the name
also,
of that
like,
item.
you think
Just
about it,
call what you
right?
want.
Kane, right? It's K-Nick, but it's K-A-E. We even have a guy in the game called K-A-Y-N. It's just an English nightmare.
Yeah, I feel you.
Anyway,
Riot Game's
the
really
game,
trying.
the game was slow, so I thought I'd bring up that minor inconvenience to my life. 120 until the dragon spawns. The resets have come through from GIANTX.
Let's talk about inconveniences for GIANTX. Because right now, with mid lane in a vulnerable state, LeBlanc's going to become a bigger and bigger inconvenience. Yes, she's not going to one-shot people, but she's going to take 30 to 40% of their health bar with 0 interaction possible. And the best part, she can whiff all of her abilities, and it does not matter. It's going to be a bit of a struggle. G2, you can see, laser locked, laser focused on breaking open this
Broken
mid lane
blade?
tier 1.
I hate that the champ can just do this. He's literally underneath the tower's range, and he just said, hey, how's it going? Just here for a quick visit. Gonna walk off now. Heading back towards top to catch that wave. Knows he has the TP. Do G2 have any deep wards? Looking at the minimap, looks like they don't. GIANTX have done a good job of controlling this area of the map, mitigating any potential flanks. Cap's likely going to path back towards bot as G2 contest that mid wave once more. Patrik doing a good job of clearing that one out. But they still don't really have easy access into the river. This is an ideal situation for G2, forcing GIANTX to face check into them. The saplings, Mikyx eat, proving to be obnoxious, but they're finding their way in for now.
I mean, it's just Patrik and Jackie's health bar. IgNar and PeachE, not significant. They can get poked down on Patrik and Jackie's, the fight gets so much easier for G2.
Ooh, Broken Blade, didn't notice him pushing that far up into the top lane.
Neither did GIANTX. Willing to step up for the 4v4 here. Priority access into mid wave, but Caps is going to delete that one pretty quickly. Thank you, Static Shiv. GIANTX trying to bully their way in, seeing that Hansama has started the objective victoriously difficult.
Oh!
It's going to be a 3-man knockup. Patrik immediately forced to ult before the fight is really even kicked off. Caps leaping over the wall, going right back. Feathers now pulling through, flawlessly executed thus far, but Jackie's now looking to fire back. Eyes on Odoamne. So many members down, but maybe, just maybe, the Gwen can get it done. It is not enough. Triple for Caps. He's just too damn clean.
Is he looking for the penta? He sees the low health members of GIANTX in the back. He's fishing, he's fishing.
Really hit the chain. Step back.
Oof. They get away with their lives, but 3 kills for Caps. And a big team fight for G2. A sigh of relief from KC fans. As G2 looking to secure themselves the first Baron of the game. And look at how this gold has ballooned in favor of G2.
Well, wide open moments ago, it was neck and neck. Now it's a 4K advantage for the side of G2. It is 1 Drake to 1, but it is the Baron to the side of G2 Esports.
And we talked about how that setup is exactly what G2 wanted, because you have to face check, and the vision game just wasn't in GIANTX's favor. Mikyx finds this pocket of darkness. A 3-man ultimate forces the ulti out from Patrik very early on. He gains access onto the backline. Then Broken Blade doing so much in the middle of the fight. Hansama is untouched. And Caps just cleans up. Nice team fight overall from G2. GIANTX right from the offset, kind of broken apart. No easy way for them to execute.
Shout out to that guy, hiding in the darkness, jumping up, mask on, ready to go. That's a G2 fan right there. We love that.
Caps now sitting in the side lane, level 15. He's
700
got his
gold.
energizer
Oh my god.
completed. He's got his rapid fire cannon.
My theory
static
is in
shiv,
LA
voltaic,
they have a
cycle
red
sword.
button that's covered by a plastic case that says if Caps does some dumb, you know, like Caps dumb stuff, bam, they're ready with the nerf button. Hit it.
Hotfix, 14.1C.
14.1C. We don't have enough time to wait for 14.2.
Stop it,
We need
Caps,
to
in
hit
bold
it.
letters.
It's always the risk, you know?
I swear he, like, 3.3K kind of came out of nowhere, right? That wasn't just me. Like,
Yeah, no. My man, I don't know what he did in that last fight, but yeah. Those weren't just kills. He was robbing people. Mikyx, setup is there.
I mean, huge credit to Broken Blade this game. I really do think that he's been instrumental.
Yeah. Quietly splitting, building up an individual lead. And what can be a difficult matchup, especially after those first few items are completed.
Now, Caps is just split pushing, and Jackie's can't do anything about it.
Yeah, what are you going to do? You're going to step
Just
up?
stat.
You're going to take short trades against the static chip LeBlanc? That's not going to happen. All right, G2 going for a little bit of a systematic choke out here again. It's just hard for GX to force the fight on their terms at this moment in time. G2 can just keep backing away. PeachE, though, looking to get things kicked off. Broken Blade crucially body blocks the ultimate there. Mikyx throwing out his ultimate as well, and Caps just breaking down the inhibitor tower. GIANTX aren't going to get a 5v5. G2 will not give it to them.
They're just buying time for Caps to run amok in the base. 5 members still bot lane, by the way. If they stay here longer, Caps could very well try to end the game alone.
Yep, he's going.
Who's there to contest him? Absolutely no one. The base is now coming through.
I don't know what Patrick's doing here. He gets pulled back again. Called out, caught. Potentially shut down here. Hansama has to flash out to safety. Patrick's still living for now, but Yike right into the back line. G2 are getting the fight too. Meanwhile, in the mid lane, Caps buying time, buying space, but Mikyx could now be in trouble. PeachE, Jackie's looking to clean it up, but it's Hansama. Oh, the carries of G2 just running rampant in this extended exchange. You cannot get away from this Kalista Cassante.
Caps even forcing Odoamne out. He's still pushing onto the Nexus alone. PeachE now arriving to help. TP.
Now they're just gonna full commit.
They're just gonna
Caps
end.
is just dancing on them. Oh god. We're blessed that we don't have dances like Fortnite, or Caps would just be memeing on these guys right now. This is unrelenting pressure from the LeBlanc. Clean choke out from G2. So much of this game was neck and neck. One beautiful team fight, and they never let GIANTX back into the game. 5 wins for G2. They have locked top 8 in the LEC.
G2 make their way into playoffs. Caps and Broken Blade with a fantastic performance this game. I mean, GIANTX, they showed us so many great positives in the early game, but
yeah, PeachE.
It felt like that the mid game just stopped, you know? They found lots of great punishes, they found lots of great picks, but we ended up in this dead zone for a really long time where nothing could really happen. And then the second that the dragons spawned, bear in mind, only 3 dragons died that game. It was the 3rd dragon, and then all of a sudden, G2 just blows the whole game wide open.
It's so hard to win the pressure game against a LeBlanc with static shift. It's so frustrating. And then when you have the Maokai and all this additional free vision setup, they just never got to walk in on their terms. Of course, for player of the game, X on at LEC, BB, Caps, or Hansama are your options.
I feel like Caps is going to win it. Just a sneaking suspicion.
Yeah. I mean, he will have won that and another nerf to LeBlanc.
Probably.
Congratulations. Those are your prizes. We'll see when they get redeemed by the balance team. For now, though, we're going to send it to a quick break. When we return, an interview with Dylan.